So the title of this is Transform Your Business, and it's about an information strategy masterclass and using an information strategy. Do you consider yourselves as an agile business? Are you nimble, fleet of foot? You know that you have the best information coming at you, information that focuses on what you need to know, actionable insights. You can identify opportunities or threats and plan and make decisions on reliable business and market-leading knowledge in real time. Or, as many of us do, you need to think about it, see what's happening, review the quality of the information, get someone to sense check it, make sure the data and the information makes sense and feels right. Maybe you don't actually trust the message being passed. Very few of our businesses can really claim to be truly agile, but some of us are better placed than others to make the claim. There are, as the media tells us, rocky roads ahead, and the two key things that we all will need to survive and even thrive are cash and information. Today, we're talking about information, why you need it, the challenges we face getting that information, and having trust in the source, lineage, and provenance of our data, and having confidence in our information and the actionable insights that come from it. Hence the title, Information Strategy Masterclass. I'm not going to sermonize or criticize or tell you what to do. I am really passionate about this part of business. I get very frustrated when I see inefficient, costly systems, people working with poor quality data and information, stressed staff working to make systems work. Every business is unique and everyone has different needs. We focus on information and data primarily for reporting, automation and forecasting, and helping business leaders like yourself get the information they need. How to make sure yours is the best in class. I'm going to share the background to my methodology. It's not rocket science, and it's not about persuading you to buy a technological solution. Indeed, far from it. I hope by the end of this session, you will understand why I believe in it, why I'm so passionate about it. Technology is there to help. Business systems should be efficient and scalable. To do this, they must be user-friendly, help people to do their jobs better, promote best practice and give their clients a superior experience. A business management system should bring all your business systems and processes together, should support and make your business operating model more efficient. During this workshop, I want to provide you with as much advice, guidance, and information as I can. My aim for this call is for you to gain a greater understanding of potential issues that may be faced by your business, using examples and ideas that I've experienced with other clients when helping to find suitable solutions. With other business, we've always started with a short call to establish an initial consultation. If this may be suitable to you, just pop a note into the chat, maybe add a reminder about what caught your eye, and we can set something up afterwards. Secondly, I want to introduce you to the IntelliDAT way of aligning your information to your business needs. And the hint, it's not about technology. And finally, we'll have some questions. Pop these into the Q&A section rather than the chat. Both are confidential, only visible to you, me, and my assistant, and neither will be visible or appear in any recording. Delighted as I am to welcome you here, I have to ask, who are you and why are you here? What is your job title and what single key piece are you hoping to get out of this workshop? Pop it into the chat box. Don't be shy. Please give me some feedback. I see we have a few CEOs, COOs, business leaders. We have some IT people, some managerial. Nice mix of backgrounds. Aims, how to transform my business. Okay, it's in the title. Struggling to get the information I need. Too many spreadsheets. Cut costs. Someone's got a digital transformation coming up. So I hope this session will really help you prepare for that. They are a stressful function. Spreadsheets is a recurring theme, and I have an interesting offer that I'll pass on near at the end of the session. Slightly out of left field, but it might be used to someone on this call looking to get out a spreadsheet-based system and struggling to know how. Okay, thank you for that. What are the issues that you're struggling with? Do any of these resonate with you? They are based on issues arising from work I have done with clients over the last few years. Businesses and leaders who consider themselves digitally aware but are struggling to see a return on that investment. If that is you, I would ask you, what does digitally aware actually mean to you? Do you consider yourself digitally aware? Reply in the chat box, do tell me. Do you embrace technology and the importance of using technology, or do you really know how to use it to meet your business needs? Secondly, have lots of data, but information and value is difficult to extract. I'm going to come back to this issue on the next slide because it's very fundamental to this session. Value is the benefit we derive, less the cost of getting that information, finding, cleaning, interpreting, the provenance and lineage. Information that supports decisions. Trust your data, have confidence in your information. It's an oft-used phrase, but does it really ring true for you? You may have created dashboards, but then find nobody uses them. Dashboards have to be written for a specific audience. They give real-time information to make real-time assessments. If something is yellow or red, what do you do next? Do you run a specific report, call up an SOP, or call in for a review? I always think of the car. A car dashboard has evolved as the needs of the car and the driver have changed. We have speed, revolutions, fuel levels. In the old days, we had gauges, oil pressure and temperature. Now these are replaced with a yellow or red light, and when that goes on, it suggests action to take. Read the manual, stop the car. You should apply the same thinking to your dashboards, real time, written for a particular audience, and that they know what to do if a warning comes up. They have systems, but people keep reverting to spreadsheets. You may have professionally built systems written at great cost, yet staff still fall back on spreadsheets. Why? The main thing is poor user experience. They're not user-friendly. And I keep coming back to this. Could be leadership issues. We hear the words, let's put it in a spreadsheet and track what happens. Hey, presto, you have a new system. It's capturing, storing, and analyzing business processes and data. Data literacy, raising expectations, getting people to understand what their systems and technology should be doing for you and for them, and the implications of falling back on a spreadsheet. Maybe you need a system or a solution or a system review. Spreadsheets make really poor systems. They're poor for capturing, and they're really dangerous places to store data. Yet 50% of the world's databases are in spreadsheets, Excel, or even Google Sheets. If this resonates, remind me at the end when we get to the Q&A section, because I had quite an interesting office passed across me. It's all difficult to get to grips with, and there are always lots of excuses. It goes to the heart of what we'll be talking about, excuses as to why you cannot get the information you need when you need it. In my experience, and highlighted by clients of mine in the last few years, you get the data and the information that you plan for. If you're not planning, are you relying on luck or bad luck? And finally, return on investment. We cannot measure the value. I just asked, what are your performance measures? How do you know what is doing well? You need to know the full cost of it involved. It's not just direct technology costs. It's about people, processes, culture, goals, time, mistakes, confidence, efficiency, and scalability. Technology is just part of that culture. Compare that against the value you derive from your systems, technology, data, and information. Does it make you more efficient, more agile, and what does it cost to do or not do? If any of these issues resonate with you at all in any time, they're all present in most businesses, but they're not always so obvious. Poor data leads to poor information, yet the cost of delivering poor information is not cheap. In fact, in my experience, poor data and information actually costs more to get than good data. You have to find, prepare, understand, and then find actionable insights, and yet it's poor and difficult to believe. This is the data cost. Combine that with the wasted value, the opportunities that having good information will bring to your business, and you can see where it starts to get even more expensive. Data busy is when the effort and cost is gobbling up all that value and potential value. I mentioned on point 2 on the previous slide, we have lots of data, but information and value is difficult to extract, and that I would come back to it. I think it's really important to make sure that everyone here today shares this basic understanding of the relationship between data, information, knowledge, and wisdom, and it's called the knowledge pyramid. At the base is data. Data, it's just facts that are recorded in a structured way. Data in context gives you information. You, or more correctly, your computer, needs to be able to link these facts together to give them context. You can apply the questions, who, what, where, when. Given meaning and understanding, this information leads to knowledge. The questions why and how, actionable insights. And then finally, given that insight, you're able to address the questions if, what will happen if I do this? So data is just signals, facts. On their own, they tell you nothing beyond something happened. Put them into a useful, organized structure, give context, they lead to information. Knowledge stage, contextualize, synthesize learning. And finally, wisdom, or else forecasting in my book, understanding, integrated, actionable. If, what if? Data quality underpins the pyramid. If we have to find, fix, and make useful that data, then it undermines the value of the information, the knowledge, and the wisdom. It's not just that the facts are accurate, complete, reliable, relevant, and timely. It's important that they can be joined together, referred to as referential integrity. Facts can be put into context to give information. How are they joined together? And is this carried through all of your systems? The background. So many times I'm working with a client, we come across the issues, poor information leading to poor decisions. It's not necessarily a technology issue, but making poor data usable is very complicated, time-consuming, and expensive. Good information comes from aligning business needs, cultural processes, goals, and KPIs with your systems and technology. The best tech to choose is the one that works for you, in terms of usability, cost, and in particular, data and outcomes. I'm going to go through a couple of case studies, quick working examples how to meet your business needs and how we at Intellidat were involved. And then finally, we'll have the Q&A. Ask any questions. Who am I? I was a co-founder of a company called the Concerto Group, live events to parties, marquees, catering. We grew from nothing to a £40 million business, and we had a successful exit. Hospitality industry just before COVID. I'd love to say it was the result of perfect information, but no, just lucky timing. My co-founder, Sam, did all things sales and marketing. I built the bridges under him, so we succeeded. I made mistakes along the way, and you learn from mistakes. It's repeating mistakes is the error to avoid. I did everything from bookkeeping and finance to HR, IT, and payroll. I was the jack of all trades, and I was definitely the master of some, but I was very, very definitely the master of information, and with that, all things IT. I loved the information responsibility. Concerto had brilliant information, best-in-class systems. We focused on data, not technology. Tech solutions had to meet our need for a constant 360-degree view. It had to fit our business model. I grew from fill the form, rather rudely, to God, Group Operations Director. And what more could you ask for? We had very good value IT. At our height, we were supporting some 400 people, 6 offices rising to 12 temporary sites as well. And all of that with 2.4 full-time staff and an annual budget of around £300,000. I was the 0.4, so I had lots of other responsibilities to fulfill. We had great info based on really good integrated business systems. We had web and desktop, CRM, ERP to accounts. We captured data once, we used it many times. We were always linking data points together, thinking about our reporting needs, looking for automation opportunities, making systems really user-friendly, understanding how people do their work and make the systems logical and helpful. At the same time, we were never standing still. We were always looking to push the technological envelope. We embraced web and desktop working together, using data from each other, using the same databases. We were always looking for ways to make our processes more efficient and more cost-effective. In our business, margins were everything, especially in anything that involved automation. We introduced paper-free ticketing years before anyone else. The need was to cut down on administration and cost and increase efficiency. We went from boxes of expensive pre-printed event tickets to 3D barcodes sent to clients on their phones before any of the big venues had even got away from paper. We combined this with quick, efficient scanning stations at all our ticketed events, linking back to our central sales team. We could analyze attendance, arrival times, even queuing issues, event by event, venue by venue. At Intellidat, we have fed off this experience, knowing what technology should be doing for a business, understanding how a business works and what that business will need, how business processes and data work together and how business systems must support that relationship, how to make systems logical and in sync with your staff needs. User-friendly is the most important measure of success. How to build data and information banks designed to serve the business needs, real-time, accurate information. How to identify opportunities for automation and then knowing how to maximize that, simple, logical, cost-effective, leading to process and productivity improvements, how to improve forecasting and modeling. Whether you're a small organization, 5, 10 people or larger, it doesn't matter. Focus on your operating model, your data vision, and then worry about your applications. After Concerto, we set up Intellidat. Why? Well, at Concerto, forecasting to me was our weak spot. I was reading about AI and ML in our last couple of years, and I could see that change coming like a steamroller. To build on data and information and turn it into forecasting, I could see the value in artificial intelligence, but in particular machine learning. The technology, the tools were becoming available to all. Prices were falling dramatically. This was, and I believe still is, potentially the most disruptive force facing our businesses today. It's bigger, in effect, I think, than the internet. Lots of excitement we're seeing today around ChatGPT. It's a brilliant example of the road ahead. But how will you apply this sort of change in your business, if at all? However, very quickly I hit a problem. Data quality. My target market, the SME world, as a whole, did not have the data on the data of quality to be able to make use of this new phenomenon. So I kept slipping back into data fixes, lakes, warehouses, data stack issues, expensive plasters to me to fix an age-old issue. It's a major issue in all businesses today, and I firmly blame technology for that. Where is the data that we need? Do we have the fabled single source of truth? All too often, we find ourselves working around silos, the biggest single barrier to data quality, technology, departmental, process silos. Nearly everyone has them, and the faster you digitize, often the worse they get. Data quality and reporting issues are the prime outcome. Rising data costs run with them. Integration between tech solutions, systems, and applications, searching for data, trying to link it together, clean it, or even repurpose it. In the data industry, we've had to introduce this concept called the data stack, which is all about finding data and bringing it together and trying to extract value, and it's not cheap. But the world has not standing still. We're now moving beyond integration into a world of collaboration. If you look in our daily lives at Google Drive and OneDrive, multiple people editing the same document. Now think about your systems. We're no longer looking to just integrate different systems, passing information from one system to another, cutting and pasting, whether by computers or people. It all brings about similar issues, lots of fail points, mistakes, cost delays, and expensive sticking plasters. Master Data Management Strategy, MDMS, is born out of trying to manage this jumble of key data. Looking to achieve real-time collaboration, making existing issues around poor data quality an ever-growing problem. We need to get into the 3 A's here, but not today: enterprise, system, and solution architecture. So my basic aim had to change from pushing a future of machine learning back to data fixes, getting good quality data that we can use for future-proof forecasting, as well as reporting and automation. I realized that many people didn't know how to plan for the data and information they needed. Many companies that I'd been working with have been conditioned into thinking of it as a technology issue and something that IT will solve. And it'll be solved by tech solutions, technological magic bullets. Unfortunately, they are actually like winning lottery tickets, not something you or I get to find or enjoy that often. To quote Winston Churchill, and latterly, according to my daughter Taylor Swift and many others, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. The same is true with your data and information, and it all starts with an information strategy. Set the solid foundations on which we can build really good data and information. So how do we achieve this perfect knowledge? How do we build those foundations? By focusing on your business needs. We all aim for the best, a single system or a best-in-breed solution. We need to develop a business management solution, marketing, automation, CRM, ERP in all its guises through to finance and accounting. Integrated systems, data collaboration, capture, enter data once, use it many times, update data in one place, have a clear master data structure. Reporting democracy, everyone from all departments can run any report that is suitable to them. Compliance, we have to embrace GDPR, it's part of our lives. Automation and productivity. Productivity is really driven by automation, by efficiency. Web, mobile apps, office systems which work together, not in isolation. They're integrated, they're collaborating. And your people, have they got suitable user experiences? Are their aspirations, wants, and needs being reflected? So you start with your business needs. You refer to your reporting needs, dashboards, reports, analytics. Easy to find and intuitive to use. BI and business working together for the business. Integrated business solutions, systems, collaborating on data in real time, from marketing, sales to delivery and fulfillment through to finance. And automation, what can computers do that releases your staff to do what they do best? And that is not capturing data or worrying about data. It's about looking at insights and making business decisions based on accurate real-time information. It means knowing the lineage and provenance of the data and being able to focus on the insights, the to-do. We all need top quality business knowledge, leading market knowledge, knowledge retention as staff move on, efficient business functions. How does your forecasting work? Is it sophisticated or sophisticated crude or just crude? Last year plus X%, or maybe more. Break out revenue and cost streams in great detail and apply different formulae to each one, a sort of sophisticated crude. Sophisticated is when you start to build models that understand patterns and factors, the sort of stuff that 10 years ago took teams of data scientists and very deep pockets. That is the machine learning technology that is now available to us all. You just need to know what you want to achieve, and most importantly, have the data to input. I really believe that the future for forecasting lies in machine learning. I have not changed my mind. It's just there in front of us all. When I emerged from Concerto, it was to find a very different world, dominated by poor data quality and lots of fixes, sticking plaster solutions, as I call them. Data lakes and data warehouses, large BI teams, data stacks. Were we digitally aware, data-driven or data-busy? Lovely idea, this data busy. So many businesses aspire to be data driven, but end up being data busy, frittering away data value with data cost, getting lost in the seduction of technology vendors. They are excellent salespeople, but they're not necessarily focused on your business needs. They're excellent at selling solutions to department heads. All too often, when I ask for an overview, a vision, a strategy, or a plan, I get diverted by IT leaders telling me about a great piece of tech that they use. Are you having to fix core problems? Data quality not up to requirements? Department process technology silos? Data owners who think they own their information? In short, too much emphasis on technology and solutions and not enough on the business, the processes, goals and KPIs, margins, decisions, profit and loss. If anything is resonating, let's talk. Pop it into chat. Before I go further on this information trail, I'd like to introduce you to a concept called inflection points for growing businesses or growing pains. The context was recently I was waiting for a meeting in an open plan office and I overheard an unfortunate conversation going on behind me. Won't someone from IT come and see what we do? How many systems do I have to put the same expletive information into? Why? I'm glad to say that we were able to help. They had spreadsheet rashes, spreadsheets for everything, some talking to each other, some just complicated and difficult to use and often breaking, and then a CRM system where everything was entered after the fact, layers upon layers of overlapping systems added over the years. And they're not alone. In fact, I don't think they're even in the minority. As businesses grow, this is inflections, as businesses grow, business aspiration, wants and needs change. A friend of mine, who was a partner at a leading management consultancy, introduced me to a simple concept called inflection points, with two prime numbers, 7 and 17. As a company grows from a headcount of 1, just you, and then go through a series of inflection points, 7, then 17, then 70, 170, and so on. 700, 1700, at this stage you can probably afford a PwC or an EY, but every inflection point along the way is important. As you approach an inflection point, you need to plan for the next phase of your business. The specialization of roles and departments, the reporting needs, both human and information, budgets, business planning and strategies, goals, KPIs, processes, systems, people plans. They all need to look at as your needs change. So if you think back to those times in your business life, and the really difficult ones are the 50 to 300 bracket. If you do these too early, 300 people that is, if you do these too early, you'll need to change more often. If you do it too late, you're going to really struggle to get those changes through. As I've said at the beginning, a lack of cash or the lack of information can kill your business really quickly. I focus on the evolution of business processes and systems, reporting, automation, forecasting, the information needs of the business. What opportunities are there for automation? Are the systems suitable? The importance of forecasting and decision making, enabling data to achieve business goals. That is the definition of data driven. Working with clients, I've found that by bringing an external view helps focus on needs. We keep things simple, software agnostic, focus on the business needs, not tech solutions. These will come in time, but only when you know what you need. So a quick question to reflect on with your business. Where are you? Have you gone through an inflection point without doing a deep dive, or maybe you're approaching one? Are you still using systems from the old days, possibly based on a spreadsheet or two, as well as in tandem with some new technology? When, if ever, have you put a holistic view over this? Complicated overlapping systems have a detrimental effect on productivity as well as data quality. So a bit of honesty maybe. Think back to the last digital transformation plan. This is a concept when you introduce a digital solution to transform your business. Did you fall into one of the two tech choices, or did you choose them on a needs basis? If you're in the latter group, you're unusual and many congratulations. If you're in the former, don't panic. That is actually where the majority of us lived. Hopefully, after today, you'll remember to think needs first. Perfect decisions are based on perfect knowledge or luck. Would you bet your mortgage on a decision without perfect knowledge? No. Perfect is probably not attainable, so we have to settle on good, real-time, accurate information. And where does that come from? Luck? The right technology? Is your CRM the best, your finance or ERP the best that money can buy? The difference between Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics, SAP, Oracle or Sage lies in how you implement them, how they meet your unique business needs. These needs are different in all organizations based on their own business model and the stage of their development. There is no one size fits all. One company's star tech is not necessarily right for another. We all do things differently. I was working with a company recently who had done just that. They introduced an expensive piece of ERP software. The swing vote came from their new marketing director because it had been so good at their previous company. While both businesses were in similar fields and overtly had similar business models, they were not the same, and they were finding it really difficult to make this technology work, and it was horrendous to implement. Good information is based on quality data. Back to that knowledge pyramid we spoke about. Quality data in context underpins information, automation, and forecasting. Good data does not happen by luck. Poor quality data comes without planning. Good quality data comes from planning. What do we need to know? How are we going to link it together? This is the basis of our information, which we will come to shortly, our master data structure. How are we going to need it? When do we need it? Dashboards, reports, forecasting models, they all flow together. Be honest. How is your data? Is it poor, adequate, or good? Do you have a detailed master data structure to fall back on? Do you know how much it costs you in the people, technologies, time? When you ask for a report, how long before you get it? How many people and spreadsheets were involved in the production? Do you even trust the outcome, or do you ignore it and revert to experience and intuition? I wrote a post recently called Information Olympics. I think at least one person read it, where gold goes to the real-time, accurate information. Silver was accurate, but not real-time, the sort of stuff that comes from finance. Good quality, but not real-time. Bronze was adequate, again, not real-time. Everything else, to my mind, didn't make the finals. If you do not trust your data and have to hunt for it, have to have the right people in work, the stars align and be near the end of the month, then your data can be improved. And with that, your information, knowledge, and forecasting. Otherwise, you're going to rely on experience and intuition. Can it be better? How can it be quicker? Your needs are always changing. Understanding the aspirations, wants, and needs of your business and your staff needs constant review, and it all starts with your information strategy. If you don't have one, then I cannot recommend enough that you consider how you're going to go about getting one. What are the drivers of value? Decisions, goals, KPIs. How do you measure and track progress? Efficiency. Where are your pinch points in systems? Opportunities for automation. How do you break down barriers and silos? Again, the biggest single cause of data quality issues. What silos do you have? Departments, processes, technology. I often come across the fact that information gives power and people hold on to that information. They don't want to share it unless it comes through their prism. Identify threats and opportunities. Do all departments have the information they need? Are they aware how changes in their processes and systems will impact other departments? Know your business, know your market. How technology is changing and can help you meet the business needs. How your business aspirations, wants and needs change and evolve. Market changes. Legal and compliance issues. During my time at Concerto, we moved from the Wild West through blinkered understanding through to GDPR. It involved a whole change in mindset and attitude towards data. Customer knowledge, demand for personalization has grown so hugely. Think about your relationship with someone like Amazon. You expect them to know you and to react to you. Understand how changes will impact everyone. Today, we have a new one. Supply chain. It's the biggest single issue today with all that's going on around the world. Shortages and delivery issues pushing up costs. Changing world causing inflation and confidence changes. How will you react? How will it impact you? We work with businesses to understand where they are today, highlight areas that need improvement, and move to help them. If you want to explore further, just pop it into chat. If you need to do something, and frankly, we all do, the time to start is probably now. If you don't have an information strategy, don't delay till the next planning cycle. Start now. Delays will not only cost you money, you will also be losing value. If you want help or advice, just ask. We don't criticize, we critique. We play devil's advocate. We help you face difficult questions and decisions and help you to react to them. The technology riddle. Most often asked of me, which is the one system that I would recommend to make a real tangible difference? What CRM system do I recommend? Finance package, AI, ML, data stack or data science tools, blockchain, zero trust, Teams versus Slack, single source of truth, Snowflake or BigQuery. Which one is the most important? It's the one that will solve your most important need. The real burning question to me is this going to be a current need or are you identifying a future need? And how do you answer that? Go back to your single source of truth, your strategy. I call it an information strategy. Some people call it a data strategy. Some people call it a digital strategy. How does your business work? What does it need? And that is where we go next. Good information is based on good data, which is based on solid foundations. That starts, to me, with your information strategy, which identifies your information position today and the needs and leads to action plans. The purpose of an information strategy is to highlight the extent to which a modern, complex organization depends on information in all of its guises and to consider how this strategic asset should be managed. Digital transformation plans, where we introduce a new piece of digitization that is going to transform our business, have a failure rate of around 70%. Why? I believe largely because it's not clear what need you're actually meeting with this new technology. There are also leadership, cultural, and planning issues that come into that. The core bit, though, is why you're going through them. They are really disruptive and expensive, so you need to know the why very, very clearly. If you think back to your last one, assuming you've been through one, did you have an information or data strategy to back this up? What need were you planning to fill? How were you going to measure success? How were you going to measure the return on investment? If you are planning one, and someone says that they are, do you have an information strategy behind it? That's all I would ask quietly. Sorry. Whoa. So I've just clicked. The key bits are the starting at the top, 12 o'clock. Enterprise architecture, processes, goals, and KPIs, how your business works, your operating model. Start with a macro view, then drill down to get your detailed flow. Build your information or data vision. How and where is data captured and where is it used? What information is needed and how is it collected? Who needs it and uses it? I use a tool called a business glossary and a metadata catalog as an important pillar in this. It's an efficient communication tool across the business. It helps new staff and old. It helps business and BI to link together. And if you're going through an M&A of any description, it's a really useful tool to get yourself ready for that integration. Data and information vision leads to your master data structure. Clients, suppliers, a lot of its stuff is bespoke, single source of truth. The master data management strategy comes from this. How will your data be joined together? How can you put it into context? The management information systems, MIS, what you have and what you need, issues, costs, dashboards, and reports. I have a concept called a sovereign app, something that everyone opens every single day. Outlook, I believe, was designed like that, but it singularly failed. Maybe Slack or Teams can be used. Some people use intranet. If you have an overriding business management system, then that is a good tool. You know that people are going into it. You're able to disseminate information through it. Integrated business systems, data collaboration, a term that you're going to hear more and more in the near future, using data in real time across the whole of your organization. Capture once, use many times. It's not cut and paste, and it's not multiple storage places. And finally, we come around to the data governance structures. Have you recognized and assessed your risk exposure? You not only have to be compliant, you have to be seen to be compliant. Can you afford a fine of 4% of global turnover or £17 million, whichever is the larger, if the ICO come calling? And if you don't have governance structures in place, then you effectively become the low-hanging fruit for their fines. Be honest with yourself. Have you got an information strategy? Assuming you have a strategy, who is leading this process for 2023? If you'd like to know more and want advice on how to start or adapt, then let's talk. My best client relationships always start by talking through the frustrations and identifying the needs that need to be resolved. By talking, we can identify issues, and that allows you to decide what issues you want to address and how. You know the drill. If you want to start a conversation, pop a note into the chat and we'll come back to you afterwards. What is the single most important factor? There are many factors that will affect how good your information is. It's all down to your culture, people, processes, systems, and technology. The value of having a proper information strategy, they are all important. But every time I help any business meet, talk to teams, BIs, techies, or the bread and butter brigade, as I call them, the colleagues generating the real revenue and reducing costs, and meet the executives and the department heads, the bit that stands out in a successful culture is the leadership element, the importance of leadership. In particular, I'm talking about your information leadership. Whether the role is called information or data, CIO or CDO, depends on the maturity of the sector you're in. FinTech companies tend to lead with information. Retail have lots of data, so they focus on data. Who is responsible for and leading this process in your business? To me, the responsibility sits with the CEO. It may be delegated to the Chief Operating Officer. Maybe you have a CIO or a CDO, which depends on priorities or industry. I keep saying it's a role that must be filled, even if it's not a title on the executive board. The key points to me about this leadership position, I think they need to be able to lead business change. So they've got to be what we call C-suite or executive level leaders. And I would say they should not be associated with any department. I personally was called operations, but I was also lots of other things. I was called God, but in reality, I was a chief operating officer. I delivered the business operating needs. I was able to identify the need for change. I was able to get change through. So who is your de facto information leader? I often find it's delegated to the chief finance officer or the FD. To me, that's not a brilliant choice. Understandable, but it leads to a wrong emphasis to my mind, on finance type data and not information. Can I be brutally honest? Are you data driven or data busy? I have rattled through my key background needs to be an information-led business, a data-driven organization, an organization that uses data and information to deliver on business goals. Built on my experience of delivering best in breed in a variety of industries and businesses, I've experienced these issues, made my fair share of mistakes. I've seen businesses with very varied stances on data, systems, and information. Invariably, I'm always struck by how much opportunity they're leaving to luck, how much they're hoping that technology will solve. Why? It's your business model. This is what makes you unique. Your marketing, your sales, delivery, even finance, it's all yours. So why is BI, the business intelligence part, your information, your data, so often outsourced to a piece of technology or a series of bits of technology? It frustrates me, which is why I have my vision to help the SME market get some real value from the whole digitization movement. And I have this simple maturity test. Would you pass it? Take a hard, honest look at your business. I'm looking for a simple yes or no to each of these questions. Do you have an information strategy or plan? Do you promote a culture of data quality? Do you train staff in data literacy? Do you have a data governance plan? Is the CIO role and responsibility recognized by the organization? If you want, put your answer in chat out of 5. How many no's are you putting into that? If anyone says 0, you said yes to all 5 questions, I have to ask why you've come on this workshop. You can teach us all something new. Everyone else, like me, you probably have something to think about. However, if it makes you feel better, you won't be alone. Very few organizations can say yes to all of these. We should be able to, but rarely can. It does not mean we can ignore some or any of them. Maybe afterwards you want to turn it on its head, take it further, and send it to me on email, philip@intellidat.net. Turn it on its head. Score each question out of 20, 100% if you're brilliant. Anything else, which areas you need to work on. If you want to think about it, score them out of 20. So that's your simple information maturity test. Okay, so we're going to go over 3 working examples of businesses we've interacted with and what happened. And as we talk about these, perhaps you might consider, is the information you work with perfect, good, adequate, or poor? You can put your answer in chat if you like. It's not just about quality, but timeliness as well, real-time, accurate. There are lots of other measures of data quality, but I'm only using these two here. You can even use an AI tool to measure data quality, and it'll give you a score out of 100. If the business need is there, in some great ways you can measure your performance. If you'd like to have a call later, over coffee to ask a question, half hour if you just want some general advice, or even an hour if you want to talk about working together, tell me what's frustrating you and what it is you're looking to achieve. Again, hit me in chat, just say meeting, yes, phone number or email, and I'll get back to you afterwards and we'll see if we can set something up. I'm looking to help you. I'm not looking to sell you any technology. I'm not even trying to sell you our services. I'm just trying to help people get better. I'm looking to see if you need help and if we can help. It goes both ways. Between you and I do have some red flags, which I might share with you in time, but not in this forum. These are the warnings to me that I'm not going to be compatible working with your business. After this section, we'll go to a Q&A. So if you have any questions, pop them into the Q&A section, not the chat. Okay, so the first business I'm talking about here is a financial services company. This was about 3.5, 4 years ago. The background, they'd experienced rapid growth. Tech spend was really high, had lots of tech staff, BI staff. At the same time, they had lots of Excel-based systems. They had a CRM system, an account system, they had web and web apps, and they did a lot of webinars. The cost of delivery of their information was about 12% of turnover. So based on the fact that they were turning over at that stage about £30 million, they were spending upwards of £3.5 million on their tech stack. And that exclude to me the Microsoft email tools and 365 and things like that. So the brief to me that they came to me was forecasting. They were struggling with forecasting and modeling. They needed AI and they'd see me talking about it. Effectively, they were actually looking for another tech solution to solve this issue and possibly every other one that they had. And the question to me was very straightforward. What would we need and how long would it take? I sat down and I persuaded them that they really needed to go back to basics. They needed to put in place an information strategy. Where were they? How did they want to go? Where were they wanting to go to? They had to fix lots of underlying issues with their data and systems. Today, their data and information systems really fit their needs. They have excellent client knowledge. Automation, there's no cutting and pasting data. There's very few Excel spreadsheets that I can keep out of. Automation is really up there, and we're really getting into machine modeling. As a byproduct of all of that, they actually cut their costs in half within 2 years. So they moved from £3 and a bit million to £1.5 million every year, year on year. And our role at Intellidat, well, we led the strategizing and the initial planning. We trained staff to take over, very quickly identified a future CIO or CDO. We reviewed the BI teams, the roles and the training needs. We gradually reduced our commitment. We were initially on about 10 days a month, down to 2 days a month. And then we handed over 100% to their in-house team right on time. It's one of the earliest things that I put in place is to try and understand when we'll be able to walk away and leave something behind. We don't always get there, but that's the aspiration. The second company I'm talking about is an experiential conference agency. The background to this company was they'd grown from 3 to 85 staff in 3 years, and they doubled their numbers in key times of the year. They had a CRM system. It wasn't cheap, and they had 170 licenses running all the time. In addition, they had accounts, and back to it, they had lots of spreadsheets. But they had really bespoke needs, and multi-currency, knowledge retention, because staff came and went quite regularly. They needed to keep that information. They needed project management. They needed financial reconciliations. How could they do it better? And the spoiler, obviously, is this fitted into my background from Concerto, and they knew it. They needed better project management control. They needed to share knowledge. They managed projects in multiple currencies, so they had to be able to introduce that. The cost of the CRM was really killing them. No automation, everything was manual. In the solution, we introduced an information strategy. We scaled back their CRM. We replaced manual with bespoke solutions. Today, I could do that even faster. Automation, integration, and collaboration. We reduced their IT costs, yes. We also reduced their back office costs because They didn't need so many staff to keep up their financial reconciliation, and we dramatically improved their knowledge retention. Things didn't disappear as people walked out of the door. So our role, we led the strategizing and the initial planning. We did a lot of system and solution architecture leading. We improved their BI function dramatically. We were leading an automation research project, and then 2020, COVID hit. These are face-to-face meetings. As you can imagine, the bottom fell out of their market. So we immediately had to scale back our support. In my attitude, they were friends, friends help friends. Today, I've learnt lots from them about collaborative meetings online. It's been fascinating, and hopefully their business is now picking up again. My third example is a management consultancy. The background here is that they'd grown during COVID. They'd grown quite quickly. They now had 6 offices worldwide: UK, USA, Australia, Netherlands, UAE, and Brazil. So you can see that spans all the time zones effectively in the world. They had 62 full-time staff, but they had no common business systems. The brief was to build a business management system. We had to include asynchronous working because people would be in bed while others were up and working. We had to have clear project management. We had to be able to share information, and we had to introduce a level of common practices across all their offices. The pitch for me was needed to establish common business practices. We had to really get into their enterprise architecture, understanding how their business would work, how their processes would flow, what working practices would make sense. We had to really build from scratch an information vision, their reporting needs. We had to be able to identify challenges, threats, and opportunities. So this meant we were going to be designing a model, we would be training staff, and it would be a very iterative delivery. It wasn't going to be a big bang. And what did we do? Well, we lost the pitch to a technology software company who were going to provide them with a solution. My worry, it was going to be a technology solution. Would it meet their business needs? Whose business model will prevail? I don't know, we're yet to see. So that was some quick examples of where we've gone through. I'd just like to go through some of the key messages that I hope that you might take away from this. Good information is too important to trust to luck or technology. You get what you plan for. You understand your business model, your information, and your data vision. Technology is going to be part of your solution, but it can be part of, if not the problem itself. How are you going to meet your needs? You need to understand the implications of different technologies, the cost, security, the effects on your data, the effects on your compliance, both short, medium, and long-term implications. You need to focus on your outcomes. To me, that's all about reporting, automation, forecasting. You need to think system integration and data collaboration going forward. Systems must be user-friendly, efficient, and scalable. They must promote best practice. They must share a single master data structure. Systems are never in place forever. You need to be reviewing them. You need to review what people are actually doing on the coalface. Information must be accurate and timely. You need to understand your overall cost base. How will you measure success and failure? How will you measure your return on investment? Compliance, as we said, is really important. But you must not only be compliant, you must be seen to be compliant. Think about how you use and access your data. Where is it stored? How is it routed around your business? And it all starts with your strategy. Understand where you are, identify what you need, and then plan to meet those needs. How do we help? Well, at Intellidat, we help along multiple ways: mentoring, training, lead. We provide fractional CIO services, mentoring, project management, consultancy. We don't just tell you how to do it and then sit back. We want to become invested in your success. I do realize that today there's been a lot of information to absorb. So if you'd like to take this further, it starts with a call. Let's see if and how we might work together. What do you need? Can we help you achieve that need? A call is free and it doesn't have any obligation. My aim would be to become part of your team, to deliver a culture of information quality that focuses on your business needs. Okay, thank you for that. I'm now just going to have a quick look at some of the questions that are coming through. I will bring that onto the screen here. Okay, so my very first question that I'm picking out here, it's from Terry. GDPR, we need to be compliant, but we're not sure how to start. Well, to me, that's quite straightforward. You need to know what data you have and where you have it. So you're going to have to address compliance and security. I think a really good remit is to remember that you now, today, you're a trustee for personal data, for PI or PID. So you need to know where all that data that you're looking after is stored. And that includes databases, spreadsheets, and documents. But I really find that if you treat yourself as a trustee rather than an owner of that personal data, that you will start on the road to be compliant. So you need some sort of compliance structures because you need to be seen to be compliant. How to treat legacy investment in software. Sheila. So I'm guessing you're an FD or CFO because I saw there was one of those on the call. Right, first off, I'm not going to tell you about accountancy practices, way outside my remit. However, if your strategizing identifies a problem or a need, I guess, and you're finding an issue, then I think it's really important to mentally write off the cost, the original cost of preparing that software. I wouldn't throw the software away or the tech or the system away, but I wouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So I'd focus on what it's actually costing you now and going forward, and the benefits you might gain going forward from that. For example, in a company I worked with some 2 years ago, they had a key business tool. It cost them about £175,000 more than 4 years ago to write. It must have been 5 years ago. To me, it was really badly briefed. It was really difficult to use, and it wasn't meeting any of their needs. I persuaded them that they really needed to rewrite it. They needed better systems and better data architecture. They had to go back to their user basics and build a working system. Yes, it cost them nearly £100,000 more, but they were able to save software costs. It was costing a lot to run each year, and we helped reduce the team size. So real costs were not actually that high. But now they had a best-in-class system that did a really good job for them. The front end became really easy to use. The review management teams was logical, and it didn't raise that battery of email questions that used to fly around. And then the department running the actual system could really take control, and the quality of their customer response just skyrocketed. And then another question here from John. What is the most important lesson? Well, I hope you picked that one up. Start a strategy. Focus on your business needs. Avoid the seduction of discussing the pros and cons of your technology solutions. Focus on information, automation, forecasting, user experience. Make systems user-friendly. Knowledge retention, business market, client knowledge. And Mark, how do you get data out of spreadsheets into somewhere more secure and successful? Spreadsheets are really quick at building systems. And in today's world, there's this whole new bank of things called low or no code systems coming in. And my first protocol is invariably to use one of those. So we take a system, we build a low code solution, no code solution, which is actually relatively cheaper to produce. We can use a proper database in the background and then actually get it up and testing. And then moving from that to a proper system is much easier. And I don't decry the first one as a proper system, but if one's wanting to build a more traditional type system, then it's a really good learning system. And in fact, if you have a system like that, and I was mentioning this potential offer earlier on, if you have a system and it's reasonably simple, so not really hugely complicated, but it's quite core to you and you want to do that, then one of these low-cost developers that I work with has actually put out an offer to me that says they would be prepared to do this between us. We would do the system and the solution architecture to actually produce a solution. And if you like that solution, you wouldn't have to pay for it. You'd have to pay any ongoing storage costs and any ongoing cloud costs that might arise, but you would have that choice. All we would want in return is the ability to use it with or without your name, depending on what you like, with or without your name, as a marketing tool to show how we can get systems out of spreadsheets and reasonably quickly and efficiently into something that will work better for you. So if that's of interest, again, put it in chat and we'll go through the T's and C's and the other bits and pieces that go with it. Okay, if there are no more questions coming through, I would like to say thank you very much. Sorry, one just staff costs. So this is Venkat. Staff cost reduction seems like a low-hanging fruit for many organizations recently. While such costs deliver a maximum 10% cost cuts, other costs in IT What would I recommend? Well, I'd recommend going back to understand your strategy right at the beginning. So see how your processes and goals, what are your needs, and then overlay that with your existing technology, because that is the best way of understanding. So many people have layers of systems that rise over the top of each other over a period of time. Are we going to look for necessarily getting rid of staff, cutting costs? That's possibly a way of doing it, yes, over a period of time. To me, the main thing is that you're actually releasing staff to do what they do better. If you get rid of technology, yes, that will help you dramatically reduce costs. And some of those big, so when I was talking about £1.5 million a year, a lot of that was actually reducing unnecessary bits of technology that had been hanging around for a while. And one of them, not the one I quoted, but another example, was a leading CRM system that I won't quote, but costs an awful lot of money, and they weren't actually making any value out of it. They were using it to build bespoke systems within, and it was just expensive. So that, if you're talking about something like that with 300 or 400 people, that easily can come in at 300, 400,000 pounds, even more per annum every year. And then if you get decent systems and decent data, your BI teams, the people building and managing your data stack, will come down quite dramatically over time. Okay, thank you very much. That's been really interesting for me. I haven't, I have to say, had a chance to really go through the webinar chat because I've been focused on talking to you. I would really like you to thank you for coming along. I hope that I will meet up and talk with some of you in the near future. So good luck, good hunting, and I hope everyone will build a really good strategy after this. Thank you very much for your time.